Hello everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my review of the first episode of Season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. This episode is titled Kobayashi Maru. Let's talk about it. Okay, so as you know, Kobayashi Maru is a reference to Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. This is where we was introduced to the concept of the Kobayashi Maru. Now, this episode we catch up with the Voyager and Michael Burnham, who's now captain of the vessel. And basically they're out and about doing what Starfleet do. She's visiting new planets, meeting new civilizations. She's trying to bring the Federation back together. So they're on this planet with this alien race that look all white, and then these butterfly things that fly around. It doesn't go very well. Sort of distrust on the side of the alien race, and they start getting attacked. There's a misunderstanding, and the butterflies, it's quite good actually, the butterflies come down and form wings on these alien race and sort of mask their eyes, and thusly they're flying around after them trying to shoot them and all this sort of stuff. Burnham and that, they obviously get off of the planet, but they leave a goodwill gesture anyway because it was all a misunderstanding, so that if they ever came back there would be a level of trust, this sort of thing. We then catch up with them at Starfleet headquarters, the space station, where we're introduced to the new president of Starfleet, who is a female Cardassian type of person. Now, as being a Cardassian, you know, they were big in Deep Space Nine. Formerly they were all grey. This person's got sort of the look of a standard sort of white person, so to speak, but with a Cardassian alien markings, the bumps. So we're introduced to her. While there, we come to understand that Starfleet Academy has been reopened, and then there's a distress call that's received from this space station, and there's been this gravitational anomaly that has thrown this space station into sort of a spinning manoeuvre, and the ship that can get there the quickest is the Discovery. So the Discovery goes, but before it goes, the new president of Starfleet decides to, or the Federation of Planets I should say, should decide she wants to go on this mission. Michael Burnham isn't too happy about this. She voices her displeasure to Oded Fehr's character, but ultimately, you know, the president goes. So when they get there, they see the ship spinning about. The Discovery has to sort of match its orbit and beam over some engineers, being Tilly, and that young character with the imaginary type friend who's its boyfriend. So as this is happening, things are going wrong and that sort of a thing, and then the vessel, things go worse. They find that there's a bit of debris stuck in the space station, and Burnham decides to go out on her own to release this because she's the best person to do the job. She's got most hours inside one of these little engineer craft things. The president questions her decision to go. Thus as she goes, you know, this sort of thing happens. There's quarrels on board the space station. Ultimately, everything turns out okay, with the exception of the few losses in the rescue mission. We have a B story going on. We meet Saru again. Saru's on the planet with the character, or on his own planet with the character that he met in the last season, the one that was the link to the burn where all the dilithium blew up. And the black actor, the black character that is kind of a love interest for Burnham, Booker, that's his name. He's off on this other planet. Something goes wrong there, which sort of by the end of the episode leads into the bigger narrative of the season. But ultimately this season is a sort of a reintroduction of the crew, of what they do and this sort of a thing, seeing them and what they're doing. The anomaly that occurs with the space station, again, is something to do with a bigger narrative, but the episode can be viewed as a standalone. It was nice to see a lot of the lesser characters of the crew being given stuff. I feel that they're attempting to include them more in the narrative of the story, because over the first few seasons we never really got to know the other members of the crew, unlike what we did with Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Next Generation, Voyager. We got to know all the crews, but this one, it's only like been a few characters. So they are attempting to do that. That's nice. The story was exciting enough. It was good enough. The prospect of what's to come is very good. The Kobayashi Maru link leads to a lot of sort of philosophical talk, which was fantastic, because Star Trek needs to get back into that sort of philosophical realm of discussion, that sort of thing. So that did bring about a lot of stuff between Michael Burnham and the new president throughout the episode, and then primarily towards the end of the episode. So all that stuff I really loved, because that's what Star Trek is about, and that's what Star Trek should be giving us, as opposed to the action and the fighting and this sort of thing. So, I mean, the Kobayashi Maru test leads to that sort of a discussion anyway. But yeah, so I thought it was a very good start to Star Trek Discovery. Now, Star Trek Discovery is a bit of an oddball series, in that the first season I didn't particularly like at all. The second season I really did like, primarily because of Anson Mount being in it, and the character of Spock and Captain Pike. Yeah, so that was fantastic. Season 3, where they've jumped forward in time a bit, sort of, but this season's got off to a strong start, so that's very good. It's an odd series again, also in the fact that it started off as a prequel series, and Star Trek needs to jump forward in time, and it's always been giving us prequels lately. That's all it gives us, and that's not very interesting, because we know what's come before, and you limit yourself to what you can do and what you can say, because you know what comes after and the effects of what's happening. So Star Trek Discovery sort of retroactively wrote in the jump forward in time, because I think they knew afterwards that they should have done a series set in the future. That's what people wanted. So ultimately we got that storyline where the ship was flung forward in time, and they retroactively wrote the reasoning as to why we never knew about the Discovery and the spore drive and Spock having a half-sister and all this sort of stuff in the narratives that came before, with the fact that no one was allowed to discuss it and all this sort of stuff. So it was very clever writing, and hats off to them for that. But now, last season played on the idea of introducing them into the future, but this season now is sort of set in, yeah, this is it. This is going forward. This is the Starship in the future doing Starfleet stuff. That's where we're at with this series. So yeah, like I said, a fantastic start. I'll be looking forward to next week's episode as well, and I might give that a review also. So come join me. This is AJ. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.